Smile with those bright sunny days.
Hey, Celia.
Hey, Caroline.
Have you ever read a learns a lesson book in which no one learns a lesson?
Hey, so I might have just.
You guys, we're coming here with Kit learns a lesson, ?
I try to keep my heart open to all paths that we journey upon together. And I like Kit, and I like her in this book. This might be the worst book we've read. I've already read your notes, so I know that this is a safe space to share that thought within.
It's like not even that bad of a book. It's just it has nothing to do with learns a lesson. They should have abandoned this after Josefina.
I think there is one specific paragraph that you know, and we'll get to it, that is the lesson she learns. And then it just is like, by the way, there's a bunch of other plot happening that we have to talk about.
Yeah, it's maybe the worst learns a lesson that we've read. And it just continues our thread of the last episode that the adults are all bad.
Okay, everybody is selfish, and like, look, we know that the times are bad. They're truly bad times, as they were. I think as we've been talking, my like brain castle has been like rearranging how I felt about Mother. Because when I read it, I was like, okay, Mother, enough. And now I'm like, no, Mother, I understand you.
Now that you see that Dad is maybe the enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she should divorce him.
I think she should. I don't think people divorce, though, at this time yet.
Yeah, I think because Kit feels kind of modern to me, I keep thinking we're in a more modern era than we are. But I think you're right. I think divorce, because in Downton Abbey, when she gets divorced, Mary, it's very scandalous still in those times. I think she gets divorced in the 20s. So this is only 10 years later.
Well, and what was it? I was just watching Gilded Age, which is way earlier. But you could only get divorced. It depends on when no-fault divorce became legal, I think. That's true. Because you could only get divorced if there was infidelity. And even when there's an insane plot this season where this woman's husband cheated on her and then he wanted a divorce and then she was shunned from society and she did nothing.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Seems about right.
But I remember moving forward a little bit in Mad Men. It's a big deal when people are getting divorced, but it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's like
it had a lot more scandal than it does now.
Well, it's like if you were a divorced woman, you had to immediately have another man to marry you. Otherwise, you're like a
spinster
or like a scandalous woman in the neighborhood. Because there's a woman moves into Betty and Don's neighborhood who like is divorced, and everyone's like,
uh-oh.
But then Betty gets divorced, but she remarries immediately, so it's like it's fine.
So it's like it's okay.
So it's like
it's okay if you had another guy lined up.
Yeah, you gotta have a guy.
You gotta have a guy.
But yeah, guys, should we just like jump into it?
I think so.
All right, let's just, guys, this one, I love Kit. This was a weird one.
It's just weird. Thank you. Weird is the word I would use for it.
It felt like I read it in a fever.
Again, I finished this book similarly and was just kind of like, what happened?
Yeah. Okay, we'll get
okay. Well, let's get into it.
Chapter 1, Messages. So we have another attic girl, much like Addie, dealing with weather. Charlie wakes Kit up and the attic is all leaky. And he's like, it's leaking in here. And she says, it only leaks when it rains. Which I was like, hey.
Which I think it does a decent amount.
Yeah, in Cincinnati. Yeah.
So it's like, it might be kind of an issue.
And he was like, hey, you might die up here. And she says, well, it sounds like Morse code. It's like plink, 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 plink. And he's like, well, plink, plink, plink. Get ready for breakfast. Do your chore. And Kit starts to get dressed, and she notices that her typewriter has moved slightly. And she's like, Dad must have been writing letters to Jobs because he's so great.
He's just like kind of like a family man.
Yeah, he's just doing good things.
He's taking care of things.
Yeah, of course Dad is doing his...
He's a good guy.
Of course Dad is actually looking for a job.
Yeah, he cares about this family.
Yeah, he's definitely the one who moved the typewriter.
Yes.
So Kit starts to do chore, and Kit, chore alert, didn't used to do chore.
That's right.
But now they have borders. Kid has to chore.
And she's wearing that. We didn't talk about her outfit last time. You think she's wearing that funky little knit cap?
I love that knit.
Julie had one too, so I can't even really fault Kit for it.
Yeah.
But
I don't think she's wearing it anymore.
Yeah, she's grown up.
Yeah.
She set
Actually,
aside childish
as a side
things.
note, she never wore her meat outfit in her meat book.
I thought that too. Okay, thank you. I was kind of like, I think that's why I didn't even write a note
Yeah.
about the outfit, because I was like,
She does have cute little dresses.
no, her outfits are very cute.
Yeah.
Very, like, I think we talked about it before, very little girl, like, play.
Yeah,
Like,
fashion girl.
yes.
I like her outfit in this one, the little blue dress.
It's adorable.
Yeah. So she is supposed to dust the hallway. And so she puts her dad's socks over her shoes and one of his socks on her foot, and she like skates around the hallway and just like swipes everything. Yeah. Which I thought was deeply funny. And I read it and I said, this can't possibly be cleaning the hallway, and it doesn't.
And it doesn't.
But she like slips and slides, and she's like, she's
I've done it.
She's skating by all the boarders' rooms, and she hears Mr. Peck like honk, honk, honk. He has a cold too.
Yep, everybody's
Everyone's
sick in this
dying.
fucking house.
And then there's 2 women boarders who are chitter-chattering in their room, and I wrote lesbians.
Could
No,
be.
unfortunately, one of them has a boyfriend,
That's right.
allegedly.
Boring.
But they share a room, so
So
keep an eye on them.
you never know when things could change.
And she's like, I really don't like these boarders. They gave me chore. And then mother catches Kit dusting and is like, is this really how you've been dusting? Is this why the hallway is so dusty? And Kit's like, meh, 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 meh.
Okay, I do think it's funny your mom gets mad at her here for like the way she did, and she's like, oh, I'll just have to find time to do it later. But in all fairness, I think dusting is not a child chore.
Yeah,
Hot take.
I agree.
I think sweeping,
Yeah.
maybe mopping, child chores.
Dusting is a harder concept.
Dusting is harder. It's more nuanced. And I think dusting is something adults care about and like pay attention to where the dust is. Like, I didn't like actively care about dusting when I was like a child, but now in my apartment when I have people over, I'm like, oh my god, like this dust is
The
on like, my
dust.
TV stand. And
Yeah.
my friends 50-50 shot on if they're gonna notice it or not. But
I wouldn't
I'll
notice,
know-
yeah.
But I'll know it's there. You know, it's like an adult thing. So I feel like when she's like, Kit, and because of what happened with her fucking attic apartment, attic room, I don't believe anybody taught her how to dust right.
No, I agree. Yeah.
So
So mom is already tired, Kit notes. She's like, mom already looks tired and it's just the morning. I'm like, yeah, mom is being stretched thin. Doesn't seem like dad is fucking helping at this boarder house at all. So mother's working hard for her boarders, and she's teaching Kit all these tricks that she's doing to make food look like there's more.
I know.
So
I did
she's
think
like-
that was funny.
Well, I did think the toast thing was smart. Because she's cutting the toast into triangles and putting them on so it looks like 8 pieces, like instead of like 4. And then they're having oatmeal again, and she's worried because they had oatmeal earlier that week, but she put peaches on it so it looks different.
A little more special.
And I kind of noted, I feel like the boarders, shouldn't they be like contributing to the food?
Okay.
Or shouldn't they, like, I don't know why they have to all eat together, I guess.
So
I don't get it.
I think maybe before I read the next book, I can do more research and send it to you and whatever. But like, I don't. And guess in my head, to me, a boarding house
Mhm.
is like operates more like a hostel. in
Yeah, that's
which-
what I was
That's
thinking.
what I thought,
yeah.
right? Like there's a contribution you are making kind of in addition to staying there, or you are staying there because it's very hands off from the people operating it. Like, yes, there is a room for you. Yes, it's clean. We take care of the sheets and like bedding and stuff maybe, but like it's pretty, you show up. It's a community oriented space.
Yeah.
You need to be respectful and contribute, clean up after yourself.
Well, it's kind of like, I guess what I think is like she should, if,
Like,
Like,
why is
let's
she
say-
making food for all of them?
well, and let's assume that they are helping to pay for the food. Then if the paltry amount that they're helping pay for the food is what they can afford, then she shouldn't be stressing about the food that they're serving. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. Also because everybody who's living in the boarding house is in enough dire of straits financially that they can no longer afford to live on their own, which is like terrible in its own way. But I do think like sometimes it does become like, okay, wait, but how much can you expect to inconvenience like the person who now like is house you're living in? Because it's not like it's not built like a hostel. It is
Yeah.
literally someone's home.
I just think, I guess it's the era too. I just think if I were doing this, I'd be like, grocery, like, we'll eat dinner together. But breakfast and lunch on
one
your own.
communal meal.
Yeah.
And then like everybody has like rotating chores.
Yeah.
Not my children.
No. So it's a little weird. Yeah, the chores thing, I feel like,
Again, why is the 9-year-old doing it?
well, we stayed in a hostel once where it was really cheap, but you had to do a chore in the morning. And so like you had to like pull out of a bucket chore that hadn't been done. and it was something pretty easy. Like it was like clean bathroom 3, like sweep the floor in like the sitting room, like clean like any leftover like silverware, put any leftover silverware like back in its place.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
But I guess to me, like, that's there's like a lot of things I've been thinking about lately and like seeing like the sentiment on social media, but like the cost of community is like contributing to community. If you want it, or if you need to live in a boarding house or you live in these situations, like the least you can do is also contribute positively to the environment in which you're all living in.
Well, it's also kind of like it's not an Airbnb, it's not a B&B, it's a boarding house.
Correct,
And she's kind
yes.
of operating it like it feels like it's a B&B, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
So mom is being stretched thin. She's working hard for these boarders. Kit wants the boarders gone, but mother says they need more. And Kit's like, where will we put them? We have no more room. Charlie's already going to freeze to death on the porch this winter because it's not insulated. And they're like, yeah, that's a bridge we can't cross right now. We need lumber. And we can't afford to buy lumber. And I'm like, what's going to happen to Charlie?
I know. I was like, I said, Charlie's gonna die. Charlie's also gonna honk, honk,
Because
honk, and get
Cincinnati is
sick.
cold, isn't
Yes,
it? Yeah.
it's very cold.
Yeah.
It's very northern.
It's not like it's like Austin where it's like, oh, it might be like 50 one night.
right, and it'll be like, ooh, brisk. No, that's like snow, sleet, ice, storm
Yeah.
vibe.
But that's a problem for another day, apparently. It's already November.
We're like concerned about it, but not actively enough.
Charlie's sleeping in like a parka.
Yeah, he's buried under like 18 layers, hoping he doesn't get frostbite.
That's why he's up so early. He's like, I couldn't sleep.
He's
Haven't
like, I
slept in
had to
weeks."
come inside as soon as possible.
So Kit knows that the boarders are all probably interesting people, but she doesn't want to get to know them because like Mr. Peck is like a bassist in an orchestra, which feels like a bunk job during a depression.
Yeah.
And Miss Hart and Miss Finney are 2 nurses. And Kit's like, I'd really like to know some drama nurse stories, but I don't want to
So
ask
funny.
them. She's like, yeah, Kit loves drama, which I appreciate. She's like, I bet these women got good stories, but I don't want them to think I want them here, so I'm not going to talk to anyone.
I wish she eavesdropped more.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that comes back.
That's a Felicity quality, though.
I know. But I was like, I feel like they have it in common. You
Yeah.
know, like,
They're kind of similar.
you gotta snoop out some
Yeah.
info.
I get it.
Yeah.
And so then they're going through the mail for the day, and letters are coming in, and there's a letter for Sterling, pale little sick boy, and
he is
Chuck.
being pale and sick.
Yeah, he's still sick months later.
Also, I think it's here, but isn't this when this is where no, it's in the next chapter. Oh no, it is in this chapter. Sorry. Before we get to the end of the chapter. This is where my Munchausen's theory comes in. Okay, because they're having breakfast all together and they're eating. And her dad is like, I'm not gonna have he like puts his bread on Sterling's plate, and his mom and Sterling's mom is like, oh no, my fragile boy can't eat gluten kind of energy.
Yeah,
And
because she didn't lace it.
Yeah, literally, she's like, why are you doing that? You did that yesterday, too. You gave him, like, extra portions of, like, your dinner plate. And he's like, oh, he's helping me because I'm going to have a big lunch later. And Sterling is like, Kit watches Sterling devour the bread and is like, oh, and she's like, sickly and weak my ass. Is like her internal note is so funny.
She really hates Sterling.
She hates him, but I was like, okay, are we catching up to the truth? I literally was like, is his mom? I don't think this book is gonna address that by any means.
But we know it's happening.
Okay, but I don't know. It feels like such a weird way to like talk about him.
Yeah.
Like, if he doesn't have a different off-page illness that like maybe will be revealed in a different book, then, you know, egg on my face.
The only thing I think I felt that it was similar to, and I think this is just what I thought when I was a kid, was the boy in The Secret Garden.
Oh, yeah, that's
who
fair.
was like mysteriously sick.
Just kind of like, yeah, mysteriously sick.
Yeah.
Is the key.
It's like I think it's the type of sick where someone would send you to like the shore for your health.
Yeah.
You know?
God, I want
The
to do that.
seaside for your health.
Yeah, we should bring back sanatoriums.
And you'd sit there in like a blanket.
Yeah. Well, it was mostly because you had tuberculosis.
Kind of nice though. Think about it. Oh, but I did forget to mention Kit's crazy daddy energy. When Dad comes and sits down and he says good morning and he winks at Kit, and Kit's like, it was like the winks that it really is a good morning now that I've seen you. And I'm like, okay, calm down.
It was tough.
Yeah. She's real dad coach.
It might be her toughest quality.
Being such a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tough for mother, too.
Tough for mother, big time.
Tough for mother knowing her husband, who's not helping out at all and is not looking for work, put her in this situation.
Well, and Charlie has some sort of a gig.
He's a
right?
newspaper route boy.
That's right. So he's bringing in measly sums of money.
Which made me think when they mentioned that Charlie's a newspaper route boy, why isn't Dad get on a newspaper route?
I thought the same thing. I feel like her dad, and we don't get any of this context on page directly, it has too much like fake pride, but like deadbeat pride of like, I'm too good to work a low rung job. But they only need more boarders because the dad doesn't have any type of job. But I know it was a Great Depression. I know that the job prospects were bad, but I do feel like he used to own and operate a business. There's probably a role for him somewhere. I think he's a loser.
Yeah, I'm going to get into it at the end because I have a interesting analogy for it. But so there were like letters are coming in and Sterling gets mail from his dad. Shock. No one's heard from Daddy Sterling, Mr. Howard, in a while. And in the letter it says Chicago is great, like getting some good work, like yay. Here's $20, kid. And Sterling says, "Oh, Mom, you can use this to pay the rent that you haven't paid in like 6 months." And she's like, "You're right. Here you go. Like, thanks."
Here's $10.
Yeah, she gives him 10. How much is rent? There's a lot of inflation calculator background nonsense here.
But like you said too, they haven't paid like the whole time.
Yeah, which I think is kind of shitty.
Yeah.
That's why the Kittredges need more
I was
money.
gonna say, that's also the other thing. Like you've been boarding in a room now, though, that they could have been renting out to somebody who could pay it. So again, like we're kind of in this situation because like the Kittredges are being generous in some regard to like them, but it is also like, yeah, but you're not paying money.
Yeah. So they're financially strapped. This helps, but not a lot. And mother Mother and Dad are talking after breakfast because the Howard's got a letter saying that Mr. Howard got jobs in Chicago. They're like, maybe Mr. Kittredge should go to Chicago. And Kit's like, not my daddy.
My daddy?
Uh-oh.
No!
Chapter 2. Pilgrims and Indians. Kit and Ruthie are walking to school, and Kit is like, so I made a wish that my dad would get a job soon, but then he said he wants to move to Chicago because I forgot to specify that I meant soon in Cincinnati. And Ruthie's like, yeah, you have to be specific when you make wishes.
Yeah, wishes got really strict rules, girl.
Yeah.
Sorry you don't listen to me when I'm talking about my wish bullshit, but you would have known this.
Which I thought was funny that Ruthie was like, yep, you absolutely have to be more specific
So
than that.
funny. I know. They're just like they're very charming.
Yeah. And the best part of this is Sterling is like 3 feet behind them and they're ignoring
like
him.
a ghost. Well, it's like Kit knew that Sterling was like near them, but she didn't care. He was boring and didn't want to talk to them anyway.
It's like one of those things, I think, with her and Sterling at this point, and I know they're going to become friends, but you know when you just don't like someone for no reason and you know you're being insane?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I used to, when I lived in Scotland, I worked at a bar, and there was this guy who started working with us like halfway through the time I worked there. And I was like, I hate him. I hate the way he walks. I hate the way he talks. I hate the way he moves. And then one day, he was being really nice to me, and I still hated him. And I left that day, and I was like, what if I just didn't hate him because he doesn't deserve it? And then I went into the next shift, and I was really friendly to him, and then we became good friends.
Yeah, I think
And I was like, what was I on?
no, this is a safe space. I've done it a couple times because I think for me, like when I go into a new environment, I am like, there's like levels you have to like unlock, especially now as I've gotten older. I'm like, there's levels you have to unlock. So if I don't like you at level 1, good luck getting to level 5, bitch. I have a gun pointed like off the wall. I'm like, touch the wall again. So sometimes I think it is just like, oh, if you have like a bad vibe, but then I remember like, oh, well, I have bad days too. But I think sometimes it is just like, oh, I hate you.
Yeah.
Go
Sometimes you have to learn your own lesson about it.
Sometimes
That's the lesson she
She doesn't learn that
No,
lesson
she
in this
doesn't.
book. I thought the lesson was going to be about Sterling. The way that this book was written, I was like, oh, she's going to learn a lesson. But I don't think Kit's perspective changes on anything.
No, which is kind of admirable.
Kit sticks to her guns.
Yeah. So she's in class. The Mr. Fisher, their teacher, is talking about the first Thanksgiving. And Kit, our petty girl, sees the guy in class she hates the most, Roger. and he's gonna answer a question, and she's like, Roger gonna answer a question?
Loser.
Fuck no, I'm not gonna let that happen. And so he answers what happened at the first Thanksgiving, and then Kit doesn't actually, and raises her hand and re-answers the question better.
That's right.
And her teacher's like, that's good, Kit. And she talks about how she really cares about the plight of Native Americans in recent months, because much like Native Americans, she feels displaced from her home because she was moved to the attic. And that made me like cackle out loud
It
because it is so little kid.
so little kid and so insane to read at age 27.
For her to be like, I really understand the Cherokee because I too was displaced.
She was like, I too have had home and hearth stripped away from me. Yeah,
It was good.
I really get it. She's like, actually, and also, I get it. So,
She's like,
Mr.
no one's ever
Fisher-
gotten it more than me.
Mr. Fisher, kind of give me like special ally badge of the month.
Yeah, she's like, I too, my people too have suffered.
I think it's insane to read. I think I was thinking too, because I know Kaya is after this, our final original girl, and so I think it's hilarious
I
to
know.
read this before that.
I know, I'll be prescient.
So anyway,
So then they talk about how Thanksgiving is kind of based off an idea of charity. And he says, can you guys think of any modern day examples of charity? And we get some like sick hobo lore
yeah,
of like hobos coming up to like people's house and Ruthie's mom giving them sandwiches and coffee, and just like kind of all the ways that people can help during the Depression. And much to Kit's shock, Sterling raises his hand and he's like, sometimes people will let you stay
careful, babe.
would let you stay at their house, and it's really nice and charitable. And Kit's like, ugh, he spoke about my life. And then Roger, being a bunk little kid, is like, ooh, you guys like kissing and you guys like married.
You guys are
like-
married, dun 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 dun.
And the teacher does not do anything to stop it.
No, Mr. Fisher doesn't care. Mr. Fisher also low-key had beef with Kit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because she like read ahead in a book.
Yeah, she read ahead in a book, and then he was like, okay, nerd,
Yeah.
back up. And then they were so good and tight after that.
This
though.
happened to me and a teacher too.
I feel like teachers love to like decide, kind of arbitrarily decide they don't like you.
Yeah. It's
And then
similar.
you have to earn your way into respect.
No,
with
I
them.
did when I was in film school. We had a guest teacher for our second semester.
Yeah.
And I like to like josh around. I'm like kind of a class
A
talker.
little bit of like a yapsity.
Yeah, I'm a yapper. And so I would make little comments and he did not like those.
Yeah.
And I would make a joke like, be serious, pay attention. And I was like, oh, he doesn't care if I live or die. And then we did a presentation and I am actually a good student, so I put effort into it. And I think he was shocked that I actually put effort in, that I was paying attention
and
when
you're
I was
like-
like clowning.
I contain multitudes.
I have thoughts. And so then he eventually ended up really liking me.
It's kind of the best possible outcome.
Yeah, it was one of my most delicious victories. Because a lot of times I'm just like the darling of a classroom.
Carolyn.
So yeah, Mr. Fisher, kind of one of our worst teachers in terms of just I feel like he's checked out. He's getting paid. He used to be paid $155 a year, and now he's being paid $80. So.
Yeah, he's just trying to get through the day so he can get home.
Yeah, and Kit gets really mad at Sterling for being nice.
Yeah, okay. I because the thing he said wasn't that inflammatory, and it wasn't like it was a secret. Like, I think this was my literal only beef point with Kit in this book, was I was like, I do think she's being a little unfair, because I feel like Roger's already making the jokes.
I think if I'm going to like psychoanalyze her, she thinks it's embarrassing because it means they need borders.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I think it's more that like it felt like this had already been going on, like the teasing and stuff. So I guess this is the first time we're seeing it on page, but I was like, you know, Kit, like I get it, but he said something nice, and I think she was just in her like blind, I don't like this ghoul. So like it doesn't matter what that freak said.
Yeah.
I'm angry at him.
Yeah. So then Mr. Fisher, like I said, does nothing to stop the bullying. And he's like, all right, so we're going to do a soup kitchen drive this year. And it's going to end on the day of the Thanksgiving pageant. And the 5th graders are going to be the Pilgrims. The 4th graders are going to be the Indians. And we, the 3rd graders, get to decorate the set. And this is our prototype. And he shows them a beautiful picture of turkeys. And everyone's like, whoa, the feathers? so detailed, so beautiful. Who could have possibly drawn this? And he goes, Sterling. And everyone's like, shocked.
What?
Little quiet boy.
Hello?
Sensitive artist man.
Delicious.
Oh, he's got a pen skill.
That's right.
Wow. And so then they go to, oh wait, there's a moment where Roger really reveals how Republican he is because
It's crazy.
they talk about soup kitchens and he's like, my dad says soup kitchens are for bums who are just looking for handouts. And that people are just too lazy to work.
It goes on for quite a while too. It's like at least 2 full pages of like Kit and Ruthie and other people trying to be like, oh no, like, no, they're just like down on their luck. They need help. Like, it's good to be like generous. Like, it could be any one of us. And he's like, nope, losers. They don't want to have jobs. They're jobless bums who are hungry. I hate them for that.
Yeah, real like conservative vibes. Not a good kid.
And then he has like a throwaway comment about FDR.
Yeah, because FDR just got elected in like this month. Well, he's just won the election, I guess, because it's November. So he's going to be president in January.
So soon.
And he's like, once FDR starts putting in those like public service, I'm like, what are you?
I know,
like
cause
Fox News talking points?
Look, I was like, hey, Valerie, this is the most direct, I feel like, on
Political.
page political commentary that's happened.
Yeah.
Like in any of the books.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of like surprised to encounter it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's an op, guys.
He's a big op.
Roger. And he continues to be an op because on lunch, he continues to bully Kit and Sterling by making like kissing noises and doing the KISSING.
Well, but what he doesn't know is ladies love a sensitive artist because Sterling has to come get his little sandwich out of his shared lunchbox with Kit. So he used to go to the girls' side. And normally the girls would ignore him. But today they're like, hi, Roger. Or no, hi, Sterling. Hee. Oh, hi. And he like is blushing.
Yeah.
And Kit's like, get out of here.
Do you think if Kit accidentally ate Sterling's sandwich, he'd get sick?
I feel like they're marked safe because it's communal.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's only his singular meals being poisoned.
Okay. All right. I think that's true.
I think his mom, anything she helps with, that's nefarious.
Okay.
And I don't believe his mom is making anything in the house because he says at some point in the book that his mom has like tried to help out in the house, but that Miss Kittredge has said like no, like over and over again. So she just hasn't been doing anything. So yes, I think the ones that she's like spoon feeding him behind the door with a tray, poison.
Little.
I think marked safe from this one because this one puts a different child that she doesn't care about.
Just a little bit of antifreeze in that soup.
Just like a little. Something to take the edge off.
So he's bullying. He goes to sit down. Ruthie says, oh, guess what, Kit? We have, we're so rich. We were building something, a new garage. And we have some leftover lumber. So my dad said we can use it for the treehouse. And Kit's like, that's great. There's no other reason we could use leftover lumber.
She's like, perfect. A frivolous activity to do.
And she's like, great. We can build my treehouse. This is great. And then Ruthie, like, I really like Ruthie.
Yeah,
Ruthie,
I love her.
Queen is like, hey, girl. So you know how every time you draw the tree houses, they look terrible?
Yeah, pretty shit.
And Kit's like, yes.
She's like,
she knows
she's
her
humble.
limits.
She's humble.
She's like, well, maybe we have Sterling, who's master artist, draw the treehouse.
Could be cool.
And Kit's like, ugh, no, icky boy, I hate him.
She's like, what would he do? The pencil will break his skin.
She's like, we'd have to let him in the treehouse then if he drew it. And I'm not about to do that. No boys allowed.
He'd be 2 in it.
Yeah. He'd die in that
like
treehouse.
He's going to climb a tree?
Oh, by the elements?
Oh, he's going to get in a treehouse?
Up there at that altitude?
I don't fucking think so.
Little knee scrape, he's
Freak.
dead.
A splinter will kill him.
Chapter 3. Spilling the beans.
That's
Insane chapter. A lot happens in typical Valerie fashion. Maybe should have been 2 chapters.
Yes. Yes.
So it's a few days later. And the class is all working on the scenery for the pageant. And Roger is bullying Kit and Sterling still. He's an endless wealth of kissing and couple jokes.
Yeah, same thing. The crazy thing about when you're a kid is you can just recycle the same joke over and over again.
Yeah, no one will notice.
It'll actually hit every time.
Yeah. And so Sterling apparently is smarter than Kit because he keeps ignoring Roger. And Roger loses interest in bullying Sterling because he's not getting a reaction. But Kit doesn't. Kit takes the bait every time.
Every time.
And he's like, you guys are dating. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm not dating anyone. Like, boys are icky. And he's like, you guys kiss. She goes, no, we don't. You're such a dumbass.
I hate you.
And
you're not my dad.
But Sterling is clever. Sterling gets the last laugh. When Roger was last bullying him, he put some little glue on the seat that Roger was sitting on with some little feathers. And so when Roger sat down, he looked like a little turkey when he stood up again.
And waddled around with paint and glue and feathers on his ass.
Gobble, gobble, loser.
Gobble, gobble, bitch.
And everyone like points and laughs and is like, you fucking freak, like
We hate
loser,
you.
we hate you. And Roger's like angry and
Why I oughta.
yeah, and he's like, you know what, Sterling, no one cares because your dad's a fucking deadbeat who flew the coop.
Yeah, crazy.
And Sterling
Cool.
again doesn't take the bait,
It's true.
but Kit does. And she's like, no, he didn't. His dad's working in Chicago and he made $20. And everyone's like, wow.
Wow.
$20.
20 whole big ones?
Yeah. And then
This part's insane.
and then he says Roger retargets his energy at Kit because she's the one responding. And he's like, yeah, your fucking dad doesn't have a job, you fucking loser. And so then she attacks him. And
She's just like, it's over.
she shoves him into a ladder where a bucket of paint is precariously sitting. The paint bucket falls on his head and covers him in like white paint. He's like, and then he probably died of this years later because it's probably lead paint.
I was going to say, it's for sure lead paint. It's for sure lead paint.
So then he lunges at Kit to attack her, and finally Mr. Fisher appears from like his smoke break
Yeah.
and is like, enough,
He's like, please,
stop.
I definitely don't get paid enough to deal with this.
I'm getting paid $2 a week. And so then he punishes Kit, Sterling, and Ruthie, which does feel slightly unfair, especially to Ruthie.
Yeah, I don't think this punishment's fair at all.
It's not a bad punishment.
It's not a
But-
bad punishment, but I don't understand why Roger. I know he was like the recipient of the end point
But he was the
bullying,
instigator.
But he was the instigator.
Yeah, which
But-
they
But
say.
you know what, though? I do feel like that's very also like teacher coded. There were a couple times when I was younger that I did, again, my sense of injustice was there were a couple times in school where like I got in trouble once for saying to like, we had like a dance unit in class and one of the boys that I was dancing with did make me uncomfortable. And I told the dance instructor I didn't want to dance with him anymore. And I got pulled in by my like 5th grade teacher to a private meeting to say it was inappropriate that I had said that like a boy made me uncomfortable. It was so crazy. Well, this is like a different crazy layer, but I literally remember being like, why am I in trouble? And she was like, if you get like another like report against you, like for being in trouble, you're not going to get to go on like the big student class trip.
What?
Yeah. I literally was like, how's that fair? She's like, it's bullying. And because he was like a weird kid, but it was like, yeah, but he's a weird kid who made me uncomfortable.
Celia learns a lesson.
Celia, no, I didn't learn a lesson. It started me
That
on
life
a-
is unfair.
It started me on a deep, long path of feeling like men will always get away with it.
Why I oughta.
Why I oughta.
So men do get away with it.
But
'Cause
anyway, so I was gonna say, it just feels like, of course,
only
like,
Sterling, who's barely a man.
mismatch. Yeah, he's barely a human.
So they get punished, but their punishment is that they have to be the students who deliver the soup kitchen, like drive stuff to the soup kitchen, which just happens to be during the pageant. So they're gonna miss watching the pageant. And they discuss how it's not that fair. But Ruthie says, in all my like fairy books, the villain always loses in the end. So we'll just have to wait for him to lose one day.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
wise
good
words.
for you, Ruthie.
That's right, babe.
You're a real optimist, girl.
So true, queen. Keep reading those fairy
Um,
tales.
yeah.
Don't let them take it from you.
Exactly. And then they're all kind of banded together by this, much like Harry, Ron, Hermione are banded together by the ogre, fighting the troll in the dungeon.
Yes.
And Sterling is like, hey, could you like not tell my mom about this? And Kit's like, yeah, you don't tell my mom about this either. You shush. And the secret to the grave.
Yeah.
We're both not going to tell our parents
They're
about
like,
this.
absolutely.
And they're a little more bonded with old Sterling Silvertongue.
That's right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
He makes a joke about how it should have been the Christmas pageant because Roger was all covered in white paint and looked like the abominable snowman. And they're like, ah, ha, ha, ha. Oh, you crazy lad.
Silvertongue would be a good warrior cat name.
Probably.
No, I'm telling you. I'm giving
What
it.
would he do?
Well, there's a
Didn't
lot
they
of...
have powers?
No.
Oh.
Well,
They
the
don't
later
have powers?
The later books get crazier, but in the core original books,
They're just cats?
Well, the leaders have 9 lives gifted to them by StarClan.
Okay.
So anyway, I just was telling you the Silver Tongue would be a good name for a
I
warrior.
thought they each had like an individual power.
No, but I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. Time to deliver the cans. Mr. Fisher is chomping at the bit to get to this pageant. He's like, "Ugh, I can't even tell you guys what to do. Like, I gotta go watch the Pilgrims and Indians pageant." And he like leaves them with the cans.
He's like, okay, bye.
And it's 3 9-year-olds dragging like cans and cans and cans. And like Ruthie's family's rich, so they donated a 20-pound turkey.
Yeah.
So kid is like hauling like probably 40 pounds on a wagon.
Yeah, to like the biggest like soup line in town,
Yeah.
basically.
It's in like downtown Cincinnati.
Yes.
And so they miss the pageant, and the kids roll up and they see poor people and are scared. They're
Yeah,
like,
that's a
"Yucky."
good perfect way to sum up that part of the chapter.
They're like, "Oh God, there's actual people
There's
here."
so many of them and they're stinky, and also they're all ashamed. They all have like their heads ducked down against the rain because they're all so shameful, and nobody will make eye contact because it's the only way that you can like you can give them their dignity back
It's
is by not
humiliating.
looking at
Yeah,
them.
don't look at them. And Ruthie and Kid are like, "Yikes, this is so gross. I can't believe there's so many pores here."
Yeah.
And they go around the back door. And it's chaotic in the kitchen. Everyone's cooking. And the woman's like, "Oh, thank God you guys came. Here, give us the turkey and all the food. And you guys just go hand out bread." So they're handing out bread. And Kid's like, "Oh, this is so humiliating for all these pores. I can't believe these people. Like, how far has your life fallen
Yeah, how embarrassing.
that you are in this position? I can't even look at these people in the eye." And then she hears someone say, "Oh, you're here later than usual." And she looks up and it's Daddy.
Daddy?
Daddy, what are you doing here? Daddy, I thought you were looking for jobs. Because we didn't mention, Dad keeps saying that he's having big lunch potential business meetings every day.
Big lunches.
Yeah.
And he's so full from these extravagant business lunches.
Where people are like whining and dining him for work. But he's not. He's at the soup kitchen. Chapter 4, Kit's Hard Times.
Bro.
I say crash out activated.
Maybe most valid crash out
Yeah.
we've had in an American Girl book.
Kit locks eyes with her dad's and immediately runs away, screaming, crying, throwing up. She runs into the alley and is like sick to her stomach. She's like wobbling on her knees. She can't think. She can't see straight. And Sterling and Ruthie come out and they're like, "Your dad says he'll talk to you when you get home. How you doing, champ?"
Hey, girl.
And she's like,
Womp womp.
Ruthie's like, "Hey, everything's gonna be all right. Like, chin up, bestie." And Kit's like, "What do you know, Ruthie? My life is over. My dad is so poor. He's gonna go to Chicago. And he's gonna have to make us a fortune there like Sterling's, but I'll never see him again." And Sterling's like, "That's right, but I lied." And they're like, "Was that?" Huh? And he's like, "Yeah, that letter, I wrote it myself. I stole your typewriter." And I'm like, did he go up there when Kit was sleeping?
I feel like he did. And
'Cause he's a
he
ghost.
single-handedly typed it one by one.
That was what the leak was.
That's right.
The plink.
She thought it was the water dripping, but it was him
It was a ghost voice.
ticking away really sadly and slowly. I just imagine his eyes like reflecting like the moonlight in the dark.
Like so bright.
But she's just like, I must be dreaming.
He's sitting directly in like full moonlight.
Yeah, exactly. But he's so translucently transparent.
She's like, "I thought there was a ghost up here."
She's like,
It's
oh my
just
God,
a
what
boy,
was happening?
just a Victorian sick
Just a
child.
little guy.
But Sterling basically says, "My dad has not written us a single letter since he moved to Chicago. He gave me that $20 for an emergency before he left town. I've been trying to get my mom to use it to pay rent to the Kittredges since we moved in, and she won't because she has too much pride." And he's like, she offered to help she offered to help in other ways, but she didn't think Miss Kittredge would let her. And so he basically knew they needed to pay the Kittredges soon, so he forged a letter pretending to be his dad, because he knew his mom would take the money then. Which I'm like, it's kind of crazy his mom had the money and wouldn't pay it.
Yeah.
That's what makes me the angriest about this.
No, I agree.
Is that like there is like
Even keep like 10 of it for yourself, kind of like she ends up doing, but
Yeah.
like keep the 10, but the other 10 should go to the
Well, it's
person.
crazy she was sitting on rent and wasn't paying it because he's like, "No, it's embarrassing. It's your money."
Or insisting like again on actually helping. Like she hasn't been paying, and it seems like she maybe half-assedly offered like once, maybe twice to be like, "I'll help like tidy up." And
Yeah.
then Mrs. Kittredge was like, "Okay, no, like this
No,
is
no,
my
it's
boarding
fine.
house. Like
Yeah.
whatever. Like no, like you guys need like downtime, whatever." No, I agree with you. It's a little annoying.
Well, it's also like, when did she ask? Did she ask when it was just the Howard staying there or when other boarders moved in?
Right.
You know?
Especially when it was just them. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you should have ponied up like and been like, hey, this $10, can this pay for like the next 6 months
Yeah.
or whatever?
Yeah, it feels shitty. But Kit is enraged hearing the story of Sterling's family abandonment, and she clenches her fist, like Arthur style.
Yeah,
You
it
know?
reminded me. It was a very Samantha coded moment for me.
She loves to fight.
This
We love a little girl who wants to fight.
is why I said I'm convinced that Valerie knows how to write like a handful of girl archetypes. She just mixes and matches,
And all of them fight.
It's like fighter, shy, fighter,
Healer.
healer, quiet, loud, spunky.
So Ruthie tells Sterling he should be honest with his mom and tell her that that was the like nest egg money basically. And Sterling's like, you're probably right, but she will punish me. And Kit's like, if he has to move out and the Howards have to move out, feeling a little complicated about this now.
Feels kind of bad.
She's
Might
like,
put us in a bad position.
I thought I wanted them to leave, but now I don't. This is a complicated feeling.
I still feel like she learns the lesson here, though.
No.
This is the
This is where you think the lesson is?
No, I think the lesson was the Native American allegory. I think that's the lesson that Kit thinks she learned. She's like, I do relate. I've learned tenderness and empathy for others' situations because it's like mine. That is the only time on page I feel like she actually reflects on like the thing that is being taught to her. The rest of this book is like, there are bad things happening in my life.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Kit goes to Dad's office where he's not working. Which also, if Dad has an office, spare room.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't that just be turned into a bedroom?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's going to be his bedroom when Mother kicks him out.
So he says he's sorry he lied to everyone. He just told Mom and Charlie that he's been lying and he hasn't been getting job interviews and he's just been eating at the soup kitchen. So he's not been, like, maybe he's been looking, maybe he hasn't, but this man is not working. This man is not trying to get a job. And what I was going to say was, like, yeah, we talked about it with Charlie working the newspaper route. It is a kid's job, but he's making money. And I remember my dad is a divorce attorney. And during the pandemic, I remember I was a waitress. I lost work. I couldn't get any other jobs. I couldn't get on unemployment because I just moved back to the country. So I worked at Home Depot, which did feel like, what am I doing working at Home Depot? Because I'm a woman with a master's degree. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it felt like a humbling moment, but it was what I had to do. And I remember my dad telling me after everything settled that, like, he would talk to his clients. Like, a lot of his clients were trying to settle divorces or get out of paying alimony and were like, oh, I'm out of work. I don't have a job. And my dad would be like, no, you don't have the job you want. You could have
but
a
you
job.
could go get a job.
You could wait tables.
Yes.
You could do that. Like,
yes.
sometimes I think, and I don't want to be like, nobody wants to work anymore. But I do feel like there is sometimes a disconnect between people feeling like they have too much pride to take a job. And I think when push comes to shove, you need to get over that pride. And I feel like just from our own making this up, Kit's dad has too much pride to take certain jobs.
Yeah. And I feel like it seems like, too, there's like a reliance on Mother that like she'll take care of everything. And now the main thing that they're worried about is the household. And that's Mother's thing anyway. So it's sort of like, well, as long as everything's going.
Yeah.
Why do I need to like settle for what I don't want to do?
Yeah, it's shitty. And he tells Kim Possible.
That's what her name changed to after she learned a lesson. She became a woman.
Kim. He tells Kit that he's officially going to go to Chicago because of shame. And she's like, no, that's where Daddy's disappeared to. She's like, please don't go to Chicago.
You have to come back.
It doesn't exist. And he tells her that these are hard times and that, like the reporters she loves to keep an eye on, they report during hard times. So she's got to like send him newspapers while he's in Chicago. Buck up, kiddo. And she's like, but you're going to disappear.
Please.
My daddy.
Who am I without my daddy?
And so she like leaves bereft and she's like, oh, I rue the day I thought all these borders were just a nuisance because they are our livelihood. This is capitalism at work. And she's like watching.
And I get it.
Yeah, she's watching Mr. Peck teach like Charlie how to play the bass and like the nurses are like tittering in the living room. And she's like, maybe I should have embraced this better. Maybe like me being a little bitch about things like didn't help the situation. I should be helping out more. And so she runs upstairs and she's looking at her sad little treehouse drawing and she has an idea. She's like, wait a second. Lumber?
Uh-oh.
Treehouse,
Oh.
boarding house,
Real House?
Charlie not die on porch,
Hello?
save brother, Ruthie's lumber saves the day.
That's right.
Kit tells
Ruthie saves the day.
yeah, Ruthie, Mr. Ruthie,
Mr.
saves the
Ruthie
day.
saves the day.
Mr. Money, Daddy
Mr.
Warbucks.
Mr. Ruthie bails them out.
So Kit tells Mother that Ruthie's family has some leftover lumber that they said that they could use. And if they can use it to insulate the porch, they could turn it into a new room. And Kit's mom's like, why? What an idea. We could move Mr. Peck in with Charlie. And I'm like, hey, what?
No.
You're moving a grown adult man you don't know that well in with your 16-year-old son.
It feels weird. It feels weird. I know times were tough, but it feels like we could have done a different configuration.
Charlie's getting like the worst of all this and not complaining at all.
Yes, he's constantly getting like the short end of the stick throughout it all.
So they're gonna move Charlie in with a strange man. And then Mrs. Howard can finally stop mooching off the Kittredges because Kit convinces Mom to let Mrs. Howard help her clean instead of rent. So like let her help you run it. Like let her help you cook. Let her help you clean around. Like she loves to clean. She's crazy. She uses so much she's using
disinfectant and
yeah, she's using all of our
solvents and
antifreeze with something.
yeah, she keeps using the most niche cleaning chemicals in our home.
It's just disappearing.
And
That
we're just
room must be so
we're
clean.
hemorrhaging cleaning supplies.
And then she's like, but who will build the room? We don't have an architect. And she's like, Dad. And I'm like, Mom wanted Dad gone.
I think so.
She's like, oh, you're right.
I'm telling you, like you said, if she can't get a divorce, she's like, next best thing.
You're right. Your dad can build it. We have to ask him quick, though. Ha, ha, ha.
Oh, my God.
And then Kid's like, great, let me just go before we ask him, run up and ask Sterling something. And she runs into Sterling's room and is like, Miss Howard, may I see Sterling? And she's like, no, he's too frail.
He's ill.
And Sterling's like, Mom, stop.
He's finally like, I'm standing up to Mama.
Ugh, enough. Enough, Mama.
Let me out.
Let
you
me out
are
of
like
here.
Mama.
Let me out of here. Let me breathe, woman. Please. And so then she needs his help with the art, writing the want ads to let her papa, father, daddy boy,
Daddy
know that they need him. So she writes a cute little like letter
get
to
a
him
job.
that's like help wanted. And it has like stuff out all the borders, which is cute. And then it says that they want a dad who can build a porch house. And he's like, well, I guess I have a job here instead.
Loser behavior.
He's immediately like, yes. And I'm like, wait, what about your plan to make your family money? You're just going to build something and not be paid for it?
It seems to be the MO he's operating with. He's like, oh, great. Another delay in the plan to save my family from financial ruin that I got us into.
Yeah.
Who said that?
And that's the end of the book.
The end.
Happy Thanksgiving.
It was a bad book.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Peek into the past. School, not really happening.
Bummer.
Worst, most saddest Peek into the past we've ever had, I think.
Especially for the Learns a Lesson books.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Crazy depressing. School was the last thing on anyone's mind during the Great Depression. It talks about kind of the basic structure of school was the same. It was like classrooms. You'd have a special interest teacher come in once a week for like gym, penmanship, and teach you like a special skill. But none of that mattered anymore because if we couldn't fund the country, we couldn't fund the schools. So schools were falling apart. Windows broken, ceilings leaking, teachers not being paid, students not going to school because their parents couldn't afford to feed or clothe them. So over 20,000 schools closed during the Great Depression. Crazy.
It's insane.
Teacher salaries were cut from $155 a month to $80 a month, which like I wouldn't. I mean, I guess I would because I like don't have another job. But
Well, yeah, you'd have
can
to
you
make
imagine if like you went into work tomorrow and they're like, "Hey, Celia, we're cutting your salary in half.
No,
We can't afford you."
I would literally be like, oh no.
I have to go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
1 second.
I have to go to Chicago.
I have to go to Chicago.
I'll be right back.
I'll be right back after I figure some things out.
And then it gives us a crazy note about a penmanship teacher in Cincinnati who offed himself because he lost his job. And it just like leaves us with like that basically.
Sometimes I think the peeks into the past are like they want to paint a picture of how dire things were, but sometimes I'm like, these books are for kids.
Yeah.
You didn't need to write that.
We didn't need to know about a teacher killing himself.
That one feels tough.
That
That
was
one
tough.
feels tough.
Yeah.
I can't defend that one.
So, and it kind of says students were dropping out left and right. Like no one could afford to go to school. And the future of America, uncertain.
Dun dun dun.
And that's the end of Kit Learns a Lesson, ? I said, from my closing thoughts, school adjacent story is a better moniker for this one. Not my fave. Valerie continues to only have one hit for Learns a Lesson.
Bro.
It's only because of that one scene where she flips the teacup.
Correct.
If you know, you know.
And that's in the last chapter of the book.
It's like the last page of the book. So I think one thing I do like, even in a bad Kit book, is that I think Kit is dynamic. I think she's a little bratty, but in a way you'd expect a 9-year-old girl to be who's coping with these changes. But I like that she kind of does. I like that she's an optimist.
Yeah.
But that she has to get to optimism.
Yeah.
Like she's
She
not
has to
just
work for it.
She's not just perpetually optimistic. She'll get upset by things, but I do like how she pushes through and like sees. Like I think it's very nice to show, I think for little kids and for adults too, that Kit likes to look at things as like an adventure. And I think that's a positive way to look at like hardship a little bit, to be like, all right, this isn't what I expect. This isn't what I want, but like I can make this interesting. I can make this something for me.
It's an adventure I'm going on. And there will be an end.
Yeah. And I guess I said my main problem in these books so far is how bad all these adults are at handling the money. And I kind of, after reading this one and feeling some type of way about Dad, think that maybe Uncle Hendrik was like, your husband's a dud.
Yeah.
I think it was more about her husband than her financial mishandling.
Yeah, he's kind of like, well,
So-
we made one bad decision, didn't we?
Maybe it was onto it, but I said fun book enough. Like I enjoyed reading it, but worst learned a lesson in having any lessons learned.
Yeah. I already made my point about thinking she learned the lesson exclusively in like the, no, I get it. Other people's suffering is mine. Misguided, but a little kid-coded. I said this was mostly a book about Kit getting harassed by Roger.
Yeah. And not learning how to not be bullied.
Yeah, she need. It's gonna go on for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got to keep fighting the fight until she's finally like, some of them aren't worth.
Just gotta learn about gray rocking or whatever it is.
She's gotta learn about what?
Where you like ignore someone.
Gray rocking.
Gray rocking.
I've never heard that term.
Stonewalling.
Before. Oh, stonewalling.
Yeah.
I've never heard gray rocking, but stonewalling. I know what you're talking. Yeah, stonewalling for sure. Yeah. Ball busting, cock blocking.
No, gray rocking is a term.
I've never heard it.
So
Well, I just learned a lesson.
Stonewalling is a form of withdrawal and emotional shutdown, often used as a manipulative tactic in relationships. Gray rocking, on the other hand, is a conscious strategy to protect oneself from a toxic or abusive individual by becoming emotionally uninteresting or unengaging. So Sterling's gray rocking, I think.
Interesting. Yes, no, I think you're right. Oh, I've never heard that term
There you
before.
go.
Fun.
We learned a lesson, guys.
We learned a lesson.
If Kit didn't, we had to.
But no, I said lots of Sterling lore. # American Boy.
Yeah. I like Sterling. I like all of her friends. She's got a good crew.
I was gonna say, so my only thought left is I think Kit is fun, her crew is fun, and she's interesting, which is the only reason this wasn't a terrible read.
Yeah.
But I said that
If it was Molly, ugh.
I just didn't like the book.
Yeah.
Because even like the big thing, which is like her dad,
Mm-hmm.
is still like not really resolved. And I know we have 4 more books.
Yeah.
But I was sort of like, no, he should have like fully left. Like it
Yeah.
should have been like goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye and good night, father.
Yeah.
You're no longer daddy.
Yeah.
You're father now.
Yeah. He has to be. We need to stop Dad. We need to get father.
You're John until
Yeah.
you make money for
He's
the family.
tough.
So
Yikes.
I know. I think like Kit is cute, and this is where I'll give Valerie her flowers. I think Valerie is good at like the personalities and the characters. I do not think she is the best at pacing.
Yes.
Or
no, she's
plot.
very bad at which is what we talked about in the
Yes.
Yap, guys. Watch it. Where it's kind of an author thing.
It is,
You know?
yes, because even in this book, I was just sort of like, I feel like we could have started. I always feel like this way with Valerie Learn Lessons. We could have started at like the 3rd chapter start point. Yeah. The end chapter should have been the midpoint, and then the fallout or results of it would have been made a more interesting book. But ultimately, I'm still excited. I like Kit. I think she's charming. And she's got a good personality, which is what's helping these books feel more fun.
Yeah. Thank God for her personality.
Thank God for her personality.
And guys, thank God for your personalities.
That's
and
right.
if you have a good personality or a bad personality, then share this with your dad who's lying about his job.
Share this with a person who is lying about where their dad is.
Share this with a conservative, who doesn't understand financial hardship.
Send this to a person you hope would buy you beans to give to a person at a shelter.
And send this to your best friend who loves fairy tales and relates everything to them.
And then love us. Send us your love. Write us a letter on your typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
And then send us a picture. Please don't send it to us. We don't want.
You don't have
Please
our-
don't send us physical mail. That'd be weird.
Send us messages on YouTube and Instagram.
Send us a virtual kiss.
And subscribe and like. And yeah, let us know what you think the lesson that Kit learned was, because we're a little bit flummoxed.
Yeah. And be specific.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we'll delete it.
Yeah.
That's not true. We'll respond, but
we'll try our best.
We'll think about it.
And guys, we'll come back to you with Kit's surprise.
Kit's surprise.
And if we'll be surprised, we'll let you know.
That's right.
And until next time, goodbye.
Bye.